We got him wide open on the plane up here coming back. All right, this is A95 headed back westbound. Headed back westbound and gusty wind. A95 clear westbound 468. Been on a big, humongous, I guess I'd call it a 4-train quad meet here this morning with, I think, 732 and 16A, A95, and I caught A95 coming back, headed west, and just oh me, I don't know how big of a morning. I was solid nailed down from, I think it was like 8:30 or something when I got down here, and I was nailed down just solid to the stone until like 11:35. It just just unreal. I was just like, oh my gosh, mercy, live, you know, by the time I got done. But what I was going to mention here was saying a few words, kind of involving, you know, how/why that I ever started filming in the beginning. You know, of course, a lot of times you can start, you know, in one thing, whatever it might be, and one thing kind of leads to another, and that thing kind of leads to another, you know, and whatever else it might it might lead to something else. People going by, they say, well, there he sits again. I'm gonna be on camera if I don't watch it. But anyway, different things leads to another. I don't film just only the railroad, you know. I will basically take on any adventure or anything that it might be, no matter what it is. I just clearly try to keep things outdoor related. It could even be something indoors, but I try to keep everything everything involving the outdoors in some form or way. But you know, of course, I've videoed.
We got this weed sprayer out there for some unknown reason on a Friday afternoon, but y'all come on, start that way.
Of all things, on a Friday afternoon.
Counting on both ends. I don't understand, but you know.
Yeah, that sounds like Darby. That's him. But
I guess that's going to keep them dead.
Yeah, I'm sure that spray keep that grass down for a while. It usually does. But anyway, you know, I videoed stuff involving history, cemeteries, and I don't know what else, you know, across the country. And I still am, you know, as things comes up and you know, comes about and gets thrown up in front of me, and you know, whatever else. But you know, I growed up about 3 miles straight north of the milepost 473. And my whole life growing up, I growed up at home, you know, listening to all the train horns coming through down here along the Norfolk Southern. And of course, back there in the early days, it was just Southern there for a long time. And it was always amazing how the sound of the trains carried across the country, the horn sounds, the rumbles, the roars. And there at one time, my granddad used to say that hearing a train blow on a real dark, cold, dreary type day, he said that sound would make him think that train should have snow riding on the top of it. And for many years, heard him say that. And somebody ordered an old organ for my granddaddy's mother one time. And of all things, when that organ came in, it came in to Pocahontas, right there around the milepost 475, there close to Pocahontas and Coal Chute Road, right in there somewhere. And somebody had to go take another wagon and a horse or a mule or something pulling a wagon and pick that organ up. And that organ is still in the family today, of all things. Amazingly, it's still in the family today. I believe my granddaddy's youngest brother's son has it in his house now. But, it just, the outdoors / filming, it kind of started getting my attention right there pretty heavily. And I wanted to enjoy things within the outdoors, but I wanted to include you as part of it. And to tell 2 or 3 little kind of quick stories right here. Right there about the milepost 475, right there around Pocahontas, somebody that my granddad knew back many years ago. As I remember, they was fairly young, of course, and they had heard somehow or another, or they had discovered that they was going to be called into the service. I don't know, I guess Army or Navy, I don't know which one, but anyway, they didn't want to go. Well, they didn't want to go so bad that they went somewhere, I don't know exactly where, I just know it was somewhere right there around downtown Pocahontas, around the milepost 475. And they laid down right beside the track, and they laid their arm up over the rail. And they let the train come by and cut their arm off to keep them from going to the service. That's how bad that they didn't want to go. And my granddad's grandfather, he was born in 1877 here in the county, right over near where I grew up. And he was, I forget now, like a justice of the peace and a doctor and I don't know what all else, back then. Well, he done something for the railroad one time. I can't clearly remember hearing it, what it was that he done, but he done something. He worked on the train doing something. And right there at the milepost 472, which is the community of Cypress Tank, what so many people's always called it for so many years, that, there used to be a big wooden water tank right there on the side of the track. The concrete feet still there right up against the track that the legs or the post of it sit on. And that's where those steam trains used to stop years ago and fill up with water. And that Cypress Canal is right beside it right there. I don't know if they drafted water up out of the creek up into that tank or what back then, but old story is a lot of kids back in the day used to climb over and jump over in that thing and swim in it. And the story was, last I ever heard, that wooden tank burnt. Obviously it was empty and it burnt, that's all I hear. But anyway, my granddaddy's grandpa that was born in 1877, that worked on the railroad doing something, whatever it was, my great uncle told me that their grandfather there, a train stopped right there at Cypress Tank at the milepost 472. And he got off of the train right there on a cold winter day. Sick as a dog to go with that. And he walked from there all the way to the home place where I grew up, which was like I said, about 3 miles north. Got off the train at Cypress Tank and walked, sicker than a dog. And I suppose, I don't guess he walked by the road. I guess he just walked straight across the country through the woods or whatever until he got home. And my great uncle said it was a wonder that he ever made it home, because he was so sick it was almost like he had pneumonia or something like that. But you know, I enjoy meeting people out here in the field. You know, some of the conversations is just amazing. You know, I end up filming some people out here in the field sometime, and they will come back and contact me. Hey, you know, you filmed me earlier today, or you know, I was riding on the train that you filmed today, or whatever, you know, or I'll run into somebody right out here in the field where I'm at now, you know, and get into talk or whatever. But you know, this day and time, I just really enjoy creating media and involving a large part of the great outdoors, and of course, including it with you.